Hi, Rob here, and welcome to R&B Reviews. Today I'm going to be looking at the latest in the Disney remakes of animated films. This time, The Lion King, which is the 1994 animated classic, gets the sort of live-action treatment, complete with CGI versions of the characters. I don't think you can tell, but I got Scar on my shirt today. He's surrounded by idiots. So, now, I know there's been discussion about whether this is truly a live action movie or not because the animal characters are CGI mainly. But for this case, I'm just going to call it a live action movie, even though technically it probably isn't. But for those of you that haven't seen the original 1994 film, it is a story about a young lion prince named Simba who lives in the Pride Lands, and he's cast out by his jealous uncle Scar, who actually wants to be the king. So Simba runs away, grows up, and when someone from his past needs him to come back and take his rightful place as king, and when Simba's past starts to haunt him, he decides he's going to journey back and fight his uncle. Now, personally, when I left the movie theater after seeing this movie, I kind of felt like it was the most redundant of the new adaptations of the Disney films. Now, granted, some people can argue that these live-action movies are nothing more than redundant cash grabs, but at least some of the other films either make changes to the story or give it a fresh angle while remaining faithful to the spirit of the original animated film. Look at Maleficent. It told Sleeping Beauty from Maleficent's point of view, or even Dumbo, or even the recent Aladdin movie. Now, I'll start out with what I liked about this movie. On the technical side, the CGI, especially the animal characters, their facial expressions, the editing, the camera work, especially with how the scenes are framed, are very well done. The characters looked and felt believable to me, and I think actually a scene that I think that was improved upon in this version is the scene where Simba and Nala, when their cubs are being chased by the hyenas. I thought it was more suspenseful here than it was in the animated film. What I also liked about it was how the hyena Shenzi was changed. Now, in the animated film, she was voiced by Whoopi Goldberg, and she and the other two hyenas that were voiced by Cheech Marin and Jim Cummings were more like comical characters to Scar. Here, Shenzi is voiced by Florence Kasumba, and she's sort of the leader of the hyenas, and I think when she and Scar plot together, I think that makes them even more villainous. I liked some of the new jokes that were given to Timon and Pumbaa, who are Simba's friends when he has grown up. And I also felt sorry for Simba when Scar convinces the young Simba to run away after a very tragic event. But I felt like this was almost like a scene-by-scene remake. Not exactly, but I felt like it was close to one because there was very few changes in the dialogue and some of the characters. Some of the dialogue was almost verbatim, and you couldn't help but compare them to the animated cast. Now, I felt this version said, well, you know what, the audience knows the story, so they didn't really always try to explain some points. The cast I thought were very competent, but like Seth Rogen as Pumbaa, who I thought was very good. I also liked the actors that played Simba and Nala when they were cubs. But I felt like the cast really didn't really add anything new to their parts. I also felt like the Can You Feel the Love segment felt rushed. Now, in the animated version, Simba and Nala go from being friends to falling in love, and here I just felt like he was just showing off his new home around, and it lacked a romance. The Lion King, I think, is a technically well-made film, but I left the theater wondering what was the point. Now, if you decide to go see this movie in the theaters, I think it's harmless, but I feel like it's just something that you can catch at home. If somebody asked me which Disney movie that's currently playing in the theaters I would recommend, I would probably say Pixar's Toy Story 4, which I think had more depth and more of an emotional connection, then maybe the Aladdin remake, and then The Lion King. Alright, well that's my review of the movie. What did you think of it? Did you love this movie? Do you think I'm being too harsh with it? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Did you not like the movie? Go ahead and post your comments in the thoughts and tell me what you thought of this movie. Please check out some other movie reviews that you can either watch in the movie theaters or at home. And please hit that like button and consider being a subscriber. Thank you very much for watching.